Top of the day to you. This is the JR Show. I am your host, JR Flores. You're listening to Kern Radio. Check us out online at kernradio.com. You can download the Kern Radio app to your smart device. Take us anywhere you go. Plus, we're also streaming live on YouTube. Head over to YouTube right now and search up Kern Radio. Subscribe and hit that notification bell and watch us broadcast live from the Kern Radio studios. They are powered by Adaptive Networks. For all your IT needs, give them a call, 661-241-0638. That's 661-241-0638. It is Adaptive Networks. This is the JR Show. Welcome to Friday. We made it. It's going to be a beautiful weather weekend, so get outside and enjoy it. There's plenty to do. We have a great show here for you lined up today. We have some guests. Cherie Linford, she is with Honor Flight Kern County, is going to stop by. They have a flight taking off on Monday morning right here at is it still called Meadows Field? I think they changed the name or something, didn't they? Bill Wright, Thomas, somebody? Bill Thomas. Something terminal, I don't know, Meadows Field. They'll be leaving from there. We'll tell you when you can go out and send the vets off, when they'll be coming back, and some of the men that are on board this flight. And then we'll talk to Pastor Bart Hight. It is a Faith Friday. We're going to talk about not only Trump Jesus again. We discussed it Monday with Pastor Angelo Frazier. I'll talk a little bit more about that with Pastor Bart, but also there was a study put out earlier this week about young men in church and how it is on the rise. So we'll talk to Pastor Bart about kind of what he is seeing out there at New Life. And then what else do we have going on today? Vince Fong is in the news locally. He just introduced an aerospace bill, KGET. Everybody's looking into campaign finances nowadays. So I don't know why, but Vince Fong apparently, according to a report by KGT, I'll let you know, introduced a bill, but it's kind of funky timing with his reelection and taking money and stuff like that. So we'll discuss that as we like to do. And I have some tickets to give away, a whole ton of tickets to give away. We have the Sound of Bakersfield tickets. That is happening this Sunday on F Street behind In Your Wildest Dreams in the parking lot back there. It's a family-friendly event. It's going on from 1 to 7 p.m. And so you can take the kids. You guys don't have to worry about it being 21 and over or anything like that. I have some tickets to that to give away. And then I also have some NSRA tickets to give away. Right, Chris? Is that a pair of tickets on the NSRA? And then for the yes. We have a pair of tickets for the NSRA. That is happening next weekend here in Bakersfield at the fairgrounds. And so in the next segment here, we're going to do a contest. We're going to blow tickets out, and it's going to be a you pick 'em. If you can answer one bit of trivia, then I will let you decide whether you want a pair of tickets to NSRA at the Kern County Fairgrounds next weekend, or you can go to the Sound of Bakersfield happening this Sunday. And I'll let you pick. On the Sound of Bakersfield, you can have 2 tickets. You can have 4 tickets. I got enough. I'm just saying that I have enough. So keep listening for that. But we'll start here locally, like we always do on this show. Not just locally, but something that has affected us here at the radio station and is now kind of just being discussed so much out in the open as we've changed frequencies. If you haven't noticed, we are now on a new frequency at 1230 on the AM dial. We still have 96.1 FM. There's plenty of ways you can listen. That's the whole idea, is that you can, and I tell you at the beginning, you can take us anywhere. You can take us anywhere. But a lot of people, when the 1180 AM signal went down, had a lot of questions. What's wrong? What happened to 1180? Is it never coming back? Trust me, as the program director of this station, I was asked and told everything from listeners about what they thought was going on, what was going to happen, what didn't happen, whatever. But now it's kind of out in the open, especially that I was reading the paper this morning. It's funny how much information we get from news sources than our own. But I was reading in the paper this morning, and it's not news to me. I knew as the program director and as manager around here at American General Media, I'm privy to information that not only not the listeners aren't privy to, but hell, sometimes I can't even tell Chris, and he's sitting on the other side of the glass from me. And that's things that affect Chris, and I'm stuck sitting here going, oh, I really can't say anything about what happened. So, but there's an article in the Bakersfield Californian today, and I figured I'd go ahead and discuss it here on the show, just because I want our listeners to know that this is what was going on. And it's become a real big issue here in Kern County, and not probably just Kern County, but up and down the state, I would imagine, is copper wire theft. It's been a huge problem, and that is essentially what took us off the air on our AM signal 1180. It happened, you guys know when it went down back in October. All of a sudden, the station went off the air. Nobody, and come to find out, they had broken into our tower and stripped it of copper wire. And so while we figured out what our next step is, what is the damages, what is the cost, I can tell you it was going to cost a lot more to repair the dang thing than they got, than what they took in the worth of copper wire. And so while we assess the damage and try to figure out next steps, that's when the idea came to, well, we'll just switch the station over to our other sister station signal, 1230 AM, where we live now. Our sports station can still retain their FM signal, and it's a lot of understanding transmitters, translators, radio stations, the back end operation, engineering. If Rusty was here, he could take, I would say, an hour to explain it to you, but he's an engineer, so he could probably take up mine and Ralph's show explaining to you how this all works. I won't bore you with that part of it. So essentially, that's what happened. You'll read it in the newspaper if you, the 10 of you that still read the Bakersfield Californian, but we weren't the only ones affected here. Apparently, according to this article, KUZZ was also affected. Happened to them earlier this year. Heck, I remember watching the news one morning and Sheriff Donnie Youngblood was on, and I heard him say that their substation out by the Hard Rock Tejon, that Hard Rock is building for them and paying for them, and thank you, Hard Rock. They knew they were going to need a substation out there, so they built it for the sheriff. But that one got broken into and had the copper stolen out of it. It should have been opened already if it wasn't for that. And so it's a big, big issue, which makes me always question, how do we stop this? How does this, what ways? And I think politicians and people that actually work in this field should come up with the ideas, but here I am, a local radio show host. I barely got an extra hour out of it. Why aren't we doing anything at the recycle level, right? If you see these guys coming into your shop, let's say you have a recycling center, and these two guys who, and look, I hate being the person that is going to stereotype anybody, but if somebody walks in and they've got an old GMC filled up with a bunch of copper wire, you can kind of guess. So why isn't anything being done at the recycling center level when these guys, if you stop them being able to take it in and recycle it for anywhere, they won't have any reason to take it because they won't have anybody to sell it to. Like, how do you explain coming in with all this copper wire? And if you're a business that actually deals in these kinds of materials and you do have these kinds of scraps to be able to go in and recycle, I'm pretty sure you have a business license that you could say, hey, we need to see your business license, or we need to see this, when these kinds of materials that are known to be now the high theft. It was the same things with, what was it, catalytic converters. And what did they start to have to do? Oh, well, we'll just start stamping them. Everybody will start stamping them. But still, you have to go to where they're turning these kinds of things in. The people that are handing out money, obviously they're taking them in because they know that they're going to go and turn around and recycle them to China or something. I don't know where these things end up at. You have to cut off that chain somewhere. And maybe I don't know, maybe that's too simple. Maybe there's something in there. And I'm sure if somebody smarter than I is listening, will call in and say, well, JR, we really can't do that because then you would XYZ. And if somebody could tell me, yeah, that's the case, then I'd be like, all right, let me try to think of something else. Bear traps. Sorry. My mind starts to just go. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy, Chris. This week, I think I've come to the determining factor that JR is just crazy. Everybody else is smarter than I, and I'm just the crazy one. I got to stop, I guess, caring so much sometimes, Chris. Let's get to a break on the other side. I want to give away some tickets. It's a Friday. I don't want to be too serious too much of the time. I want to give away some tickets. I've got a bunch of NSRA tickets that's going on at the fairgrounds next weekend. And I have a bunch of tickets for the Sound of Bakersfield that's going on this Sunday out on F Street behind In Your Wildest Dreams. It's the big pink building. So we'll do some trivia in the next round. Go ahead and just line up now if you want. 661-842-5376. 661-842-KERN. If you want a chance to win either of those sets of tickets, I'll let you pick if you can answer the questions. Then after that, we'll talk with the Honor Flight Kern County folks. They have a flight taking off on Monday. We'll tell you how you can attend the send-off, how you can attend the return, and we'll talk about who is on the flight, plus Pastor Bart Hight. He's a pastor over at New Life, going to come in, talk about Trump Jesus and young men in record numbers going to church. All that coming up. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back.
Kern Radio. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays at 3 p.m.
It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Friday TRBS. Rick Bentley will be here to talk entertainment, and we'll get the latest on Epic Fury. The president said a deal is in the makings. All of that, plus me at 3. It's TRBS, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, streaming live at kernradio.com. I'll see you at 3.
The Ralph Bailey Show, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here for King Door Company. I had my garage door installed over 20 years ago, and it still works like the day it was installed. So I know all about King Door's quality products. But let's talk service. At King Door Company, it's an obsession. Whether you're having your garage door installed, serviced, or repaired, you can count on King Door Company to do it right. And it all starts with training. All King Door techs have been through the King Door Academy, an on-site training center where technicians study the very latest in garage door technology, so that when they show up at your house, they have all the experience and product knowledge they need to take care of your garage door. They really are the state of the art. And when you pair that expertise with King Door's legendary customer service, you get a service experience that can't be beat. So whether you need a new garage door or just service on an existing door, regardless of who built or installed it, count on the pros at King Door to do the job right. Just call 397-2744 or check them out online at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, the company with the pride of a lion.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital, they provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern Family. They offer Kern County's longest-standing inpatient detox program with dual diagnosis that combines medical care and withdrawal management all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their community.
Get ready for the 11th annual Mac and Cheese Fest, happening Saturday, May 9th at the Kern County Fairgrounds from 2 to 6 p.m. This year's event is going to be bigger and better than ever. Enjoy endless servings of mac and cheese, along with refreshing beers, spiked seltzers, cocktails, and live music. Tickets are on sale now. For more information and to grab your tickets, visit BakersfieldMacandCheeseFest.com. Happening Saturday, May 9th at the Kern County Fairgrounds from 2 to 6 p.m.
This event benefits the Bakersfield Ronald McDonald House.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
What the world couldn't give, no, we can't take away. Sorrow may come, but it can't steal my soul.
Welcome back. Can't steal my joy. That's right. What they don't give, they can't take away, Christopher. Just remember that. If they don't bring you joy, then they can't take away your joy. Don't let anybody steal that. My joy comes from the Lord. It is a Faith Friday. We'll talk with Pastor Bart Hight later in the show. We'll talk about young men in record numbers entering into church and how do we keep them there? And then Trump Jesus, how do we keep him out of there? And we'll also talk with the folks from Honor Flight. I just saw Lily Marsh walking up right now to our door. She'll be joining us as well as Cherie Linford. They are with Honor Flight Kern County. They got a flight taking off Monday. We'll tell you how you can attend. Do we have anybody on the line? 661-842-5376, 661-842-KERN. If you guys want a chance to win some tickets, I have some to the NSRA. It's happening next weekend out at the Kern County Fairgrounds. And then I have some tickets to the Sound of Bakersfield. That is happening this Sunday on F Street behind In Your Wildest Dreams. If you guys can answer a bit of trivia, I will give you a choice of which ones you want. What happened? You're looking at me. I was like, you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, I'm sorry. I'm more saying that there's nobody on the line right now. Everybody's scared.
It's a Friday, dude. Everybody's out of town. 661-842-KERN, 661-842-5376. If you want to get a bit of trivia. Speaking of being out of town, Chris Orr, our man, Lacrosse, he said, what's up all the way from upstate New York.
Nice.
So we have somebody watching on YouTube anyways, all the way from upstate New York, just like that. See, no matter where you go, if you have the Kern Radio app, you can listen, or if you have the internet or data on your phone, just download the YouTube app and search up Kern Radio, and you can watch us anywhere you go. Here locally as well, that's something else I wanted to touch on. A professional Stevie Wonder impersonator, I don't know if you remember this story or not, was sentenced yesterday to 1.5 years in time served, because he's already done 1.5 years in jail, for allegedly grabbing a child at a Bakersfield convenience store. He pleaded no contest to contacting a minor with the intent to commit a sex act and annoying or molesting a child. 3 other charges, including lewd or lascivious acts with a child younger than 14, attempted kidnapping of a child under 14, and a misdemeanor battery count, were dismissed. The judge sentenced him to 18 months, which is already satisfied because he's been in jail the whole time. The reason it took that long to get to sentencing, though, is and he'll also have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. It's part of the plea deal. It all stemmed from an incident back on June 30th of 2025 on Stockdale Highway, where he was in a convenience store and allegedly, grabbed a girl's hand and held it for about 2 minutes and did not let her get away from him. She then was able to flee after bystanders intervened. He was arrested later at his home, but he was also at one point found incompetent to stand trial during an interview with 17. He said he was corrupted by artificial intelligence and believed he was in a simulation. So he was found incompetent at one time to stand trial, sent to a mental health hospital, was restored to competency through treatment and medication, allowing for the criminal case to then proceed in court. And when I read this, it automatically made me think of mental health diversion. And what is the difference here? What is the difference from somebody claiming mental health diversion and somebody claiming to be incompetent in court and saying they're not? This guy was saying that he was under artificial intelligence, that he thought he was in a simulation. Now, he's either really crazy or was on some really, really good drugs, bad drugs, I mean. And so I go, okay, they find that he's not competent to stand trial. They send him to a mental health facility. They put him on treatment and medication. He's restored from thinking that he was in an AI simulation. He was restored from that and then found fit to stand trial. Now, what is the difference between that and Zack Scrivner crawling into bed with his daughter while he's high on mushrooms and then saying, I am crazy? And he gets to go to some mental health facility, Aspire Counseling, and never have to face charges in his life, will never see a day in jail because he was never arrested. If that man that believed he is Stevie Wonder in an artificial intelligence and simulation can be restored to his mental health to be able to stand trial for grabbing a little girl's hand in a convenience store, then why in the hell can Zack Scrivner, who crawled into bed with his daughter high on mushrooms, not have to ever stand a day in jail? Somebody please explain that to me. Because it just does not make sense. My head wants to explode because I don't understand, like it doesn't know how to compute it. If that man can be restored and sent back to court to stand and have to face the charges against him, then what is the difference? Look, I'm all about people getting help, especially crazy people that think they're in a simulation. I'm all about people like Fernando Jara, who suffers from bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. I'm all about him getting help, which also makes me go, remember how he was handled? Fernando Jara, husband of Supervisor Leticia Perez, remember how he was handled with the whole SWAT standoff and had to be tackled and taken in? And then think about how Zack Scrivner was handled. Never placed in cuffs, got to sit in the back of a car, driven across town and dropped off at a mental facility. Boggles my mind. I'm glad it's Friday so I can take the show in other places. Later, we'll talk to Pastor Bart Hight. He'll help me settle down a little bit more. Talk about young men entering church in record numbers. Plus, up next, the folks from Honor Flight are stopping by. They have a flight taking off on Monday. We'll tell you how you can send off these vets in Kern County style. It's the JR Show. We'll be right back.
With SRN News, I'm John Stubbs. The United States and Iran both say the Strait of Hormuz is now fully open to commercial vessels. After the announcement was made on the Strait of Hormuz, oil prices dropped 10%. And stocks on Wall Street soared. At the close, the Dow was up 868 points today, closing at 49,447. NASDAQ gaining 365. The S&P 500 added 84 points. In consumer news, Ford recalling almost 1.4 million of its F-150 pickup trucks because of a gear shift issue that may lead to drivers losing control of the vehicles and increase the risk of a crash. That recall including F-150 light trucks with a 6-speed automatic transmission that were produced between March 12, 2014 and August 18, 2017. This is SRN News.
Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. The man who was shot and killed by Kern County deputies after they say he shot someone on Pepper Drive before fleeing and crashing later on Highway 58 back on April 10th was ID'd Friday by the Kern County Coroner's Office as 21-year-old Giovanni Montoya Guzman of Bakersfield. Police have not provided specific details about what happened when they were able to confront Guzman, and he was shot. The Stevie Wonder impersonator, accused of attempting to molest a child last year at a convenience store on Stockdale Highway, will get time served in a plea deal reached between 55-year-old Tino Ebach and prosecutors. He's pleading no contest to charges of contacting a minor with the intent to commit a sex act and annoying or molesting a child. Several other charges are being dropped as part of the deal. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away.
But you're going to stay here the whole time?
Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis.
What's your favorite course in town, Lily?
Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine.
Yeah. But
Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Thank you, sir.
First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday
Immediately
edition of the
after
First
I
Look
had to
program, I
pull
have a
this stuff
feeling the
back down
Knights
because
Templar
Brad
are
comes
going to
in
be
and
back
puts
in the
his stuff
news. Apparently, the Straight Outta Her News is back open again.
And then I come in
That's
the
always a
morning,
good
and after
time.
Scott's
We
show,
got
I
the
set it
hot
up, so
list.
I'm
We've
not
got
in a rush.
news and traffic
At 1
and
o'clock
weather.
to set it
We'll
up for
talk
my
jobs
show,
of
so
America's
about
Job
10
Center
o'clock I
occurring,
come in and-
all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
I do, thank you.
96.1
Thank you.
AM 1230 KERN.
So we're taking off Monday, what time? 9 a.m.? Oh, that's good. It's not like 6 o'clock in the morning. You do. I don't have to be. I get there at what time to send them off? Like 8? Oh, when I actually make it. In the spring. Or the fall, I mean. This is spring.
To thank you face to face for the grace you've given. I want to see my children run to your
Welcome back.
arms.
It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. Check us out online, kernradio.com. You can also watch us streaming live on YouTube. That's right. Head over there right now and search up Kern Radio. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and watch us from the Kern Radio studios. It's all powered by Adaptive Networks. Give them a call, 661-241-0638 for all your IT needs. Call Adaptive Networks. And we have some of our favorite people in studio right now. They have been a part of this radio station for a very, very, very long time. I tried to even think back to when we first met this group and how this relationship all started. And I can't put a year on it, but I know it's been several years now. And if you don't know who we are talking about the folks from Honor Flight Kern County, Lily Marsh, and she's brought a friend to introduce us to. And then she said she's getting the heck out of here because she wants to go play golf. Thanks,
Well,
Lily.
I really, I always talk about there's a lot of people behind the scenes that you
Yes.
never hear about that really make the organization work. And Sherry, this will be the Sherry Show.
The Sherry Show.
Sherry is one of them. And I just wanted to introduce her as one of our heavy lifters. And she is our historian / biographer. So all the vets put down little notes on their, very little notes, most of the time on their application that says what they did. And then Sherry starts digging. And that's so often where the fun begins, that they'll put some little detail that means nothing, insignificant, until she thinks, I wonder what that is, and then starts researching it. She found a gal that was a World War II vet that served stateside in the Navy. And I'm going to get a little of this wrong. Probably Sherry, you can correct me.
Sherry will jump in. That's why
And
she's here.
she said where she served. Well, Sherry started in what building up in San Francisco, and Sherry starts researching it. It was a nunnery or something
Oh, wow.
that the military had taken over. And this gal was working with top secret documents. And we bugged her, didn't we, forever to tell us. And she, at 104, she took that information to her grave because it was top secret. Anyway, and that's Sherry who does all that. So now, yay, the Sherry Show.
It's the Sherry Show, but it does take a whole team, a whole village of people to do this honor Flight Kern County. It does. I mean, we've talked to you, Lily, throughout the years, but we've met a whole lot of your staff and the people that are a part of honor Flight Kern County, from you guys who are in there every day, the board members and all those people, to just the volunteers of random, going on a flight because I want to be able to participate. And so we've been able to meet probably not the whole team because there's a lot of them, but it takes a whole village. It really does. Not just because the trip is one thing. The trip is one thing.
The trip is the fun part. This is the down and dirty work behind before that ever happens that she's doing.
That's right.
Without those stories, I mean, she's enhanced just my knowledge and of these folks so much that she'll call up and go, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. And she's going to tell you a couple of those today, I think.
And it's hard sometimes because you don't a lot of the times get the veterans, like you said, this lady, the 104-year-old, took it to her grave. And that's how a lot of these guys are. They, especially before the trips, they are very, very inside. They keep it all in here, and a lot of them don't share a lot of the things, and even after, don't share some of the hardest things they did. Maybe they do with like one person that they maybe met on a trip, and that's the beauty of honor flight, is the guys that meet on the trips, and then they keep these relationships, and then they start to share stories with each other, and you see them, you know what I mean, start to release some of those things. But I can't imagine some of the stories that you've researched for these gentlemen and ladies.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you for having us today.
No, of course. You guys, like I said, I can't remember. Lily, do you have a year when we started?
I don't, but I think Ralph's first trip was in 2014.
2014.
I think it came up in my memories, and I sent it to him not too long ago. And I'll look that up while you're talking to Sherry and not me.
That was over 12 years ago when you think about that. And I remember when they walked in, and we just met him, and we were so impacted by it. Ralph and I were and I was his producer. I sat on the other side of the glass, and we were so impacted by it that Ralph, after they left, said, I'm going to throw in $100. And I turned to him and turned on my mic, and I said, if you're going to throw in $100, I'm going to throw in $100. And then we said, well, heck, we'll just challenge everybody to throw in $100. And that's where the relationship started. And Ralph has been doing this annual fundraiser now for 12. I think we maybe skipped during COVID, but at least 11, 10 fundraisers where we've tried to help send as many veterans back to DC as we could. And it's all because of the work that you guys do, right? Tell me what goes in, what all do you have to do when you're starting to research somebody, when you're starting to dig into their past?
Well, first of all, we interview them, and I have them fill out.
Is that part of the process when they come in with an application, after you fill out the application as a veteran?
Yes.
To go on a flight, and then you come in and they have to sit with Sherry to interview?
Yes. And so I have a form that they fill out, and then I kind of go from there. And I have some people that help me interview. have a couple of Vietnam vets that are help me, and they're my technical advisors. But then I start talking to them, and so often they will say, "No one's ever asked me what I did." And I encourage everyone out there, if you know a veteran, ask them. And sometimes they'll start talking. So many things that they've done are so hard. It's hard for them to talk about. But then I start putting things together. I look at their DD-214, and when I start seeing all those medals and the years they were there, if they were in Vietnam in 68, 69, they were in some stuff. And you start looking at the medals, you see a Bronze Star, Purple Heart, things like that.
And you know what those mean, and you know that they had to go through probably something very harrowing to receive those awards.
Yes.
And that's where you try to go, okay, where are these stories at?
Yes.
How can I dig a little deeper? And what goes again? Where do you research at? Where do you go? How did you find that this 104-year-old that wouldn't tell a soul what she did? How do you go and find out all this information about her?
I had actually read a book about what she did, and I asked her. It actually was in DC. She was in DC, and there's a book called Code Girls. And there were women that were at a college that had been changed into a code place for the Navy.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that she worked there, just what she was talking about. And I asked her about it, and she very suddenly, abruptly said, "We're done."
So you knew you were onto something.
I cannot talk about that anymore. So
wow.
I mean, this is
because at her time it was so top secret, especially coding and stuff, because spies were everywhere, and you were like, okay, we have to be able to send these coded messages so that they can't figure out what we're trying to do. So it was very, very top secret, and she took that very seriously.
Yes. I'm sure we were talking about troop movements in 1945, which, probably aren't relevant now, but she was not going to talk about it.
Wow. Even to this day.
Yeah. I've talked to several like that, especially World War II veterans. They took it very seriously.
Yeah. Wow. Who are the gentlemen going on this flight on Monday that are leaving out?
So we have 102 veterans.
102.
Yes. We have one Korean veteran. He is 91.
Yeah,
we have another 91-year-old.
It's hard to believe that our Korean veterans are now getting into their 90s.
Yes.
Like my grandfather was in Korea after he was actually in the occupation of Japan after World War II, did a couple jumps there, and then he was in Korea during the Korean War and did some jumps in there. He was part of the airborne there. So no. And so to think, and he's passed now for, I don't even know how long he's been passed now, but to think, wow, he'd be in his 90s. Those guys are getting up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This gentleman was in the Navy. He was on a ship off the coast of Korea. And we have some Cold War veterans, 15 Cold War veterans that, they served between Vietnam and Korea. And we have 86 Vietnam veterans.
Wow.
We have 2 female veterans that are going. One of them is a 22-year Air Force veteran. She served all the way up to the Gulf War.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
She did a lot of time then.
Yes.
Good for her.
And we have every branch of the military represented. This time we have Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. We have 2 Coast Guard guys. We don't always have Coast Guard.
No, yeah, they're a little bit smaller of a group, but they're out there.
Yes.
And they've been a part of fighting and keeping freedom as well, and deservedly should go back and see their memorials as well. So what's one of the more interesting stories for the guys on here? Do you hear more, I guess, beforehand in the interviews, or do you feel like you hear more? Do you get to go on the trips?
I've only gone on one trip. I haven't gone in a long time. I went in 2014 with a 92-year-old World War II veteran. She was in the Navy, and she was amazing. Very, very spunky.
Do you feel like they're more open before or after?
I think they're more open after. And I always I think I kind of have their story down, and then I start hearing things that happen back there. A lot of times when the veterans go to the wall, when the Vietnam veterans go to the wall, things come out.
Oh yeah, it can be a very, very emotional place there when you go up and you're looking for your brothers that were standing next to you at one point on the battlefield that lost their life, and to see their name up there, it's emotional.
Oh, yes,
And
absolutely.
it hits guys, but even after having that emotional high, it feels like when they come back, it's like a release. Like they've not only not so much left something there, but they've been able, like, this weight is off of their shoulders, and they walk a little lighter, and like I said, it almost like they feel more comfortable talking about some of the things that they've been through, right?
Yes, and we've had families say that he never talked about this, and now he talks about it all the time.
Now we can't get Grandpa to shut up.
Well, hey, let her tell you about this one innocent little category of a locksmith, and you think, what's a locksmith?
Oh, now you got to tell the story.
Yeah. So that there are some amazing stories on this.
Every single one of them has some story in there that's going to make you go, what?
Yes. So, we have a helicopter pilot. He was shot down in Cambodia.
See, already I'm like,
yeah,
dude.
We have two door gunners. A door gunner had a very short life expectancy. We have two of those on this flight. Wow. So I was talking to one man. He was just on an aircraft carrier. He was a sailor on an aircraft carrier, and he said he was a welder and a locksmith. So I said, so what did a locksmith do on an aircraft carrier? And he said, when we had a downed pilot, I had to go into his quarters and open his footlocker and retrieve his personal belongings to return to his family. So that, those are personal pictures and but just heartbreaking.
I mean, he probably had to encounter just some of the, because he has to be the guy that goes and collects all those things. I can't imagine the weight that he's carried around for so long of each individual person that he had to go and pick a lock for.
If she didn't ask the simple question, that I would not, I would just read that.
Oh yeah, just locksmith. Oh yeah, he's probably doing something out there. Yeah, it's picking safes or something. Yeah. To get that story, I mean, these gentlemen, they've been through so much. It just, and like I said, most of the time they're reluctant. They're reluctant.
We also have a medic on this trip. He was in a field hospital, but he was also on evacuation helicopters. So I can't even imagine what he saw.
What he had to see. Well, even like you mentioned, the gunners. Yeah. You know what I mean? What they had to see, and knowing that they're shooting at people, and to carry the weight of that, war is not fun, and these gentlemen had to go through, endure so many things, and even for you to sometimes hear these stories, I couldn't imagine having to just go through them. And so it's great work that you guys are doing, not only the flight part and taking them back, but what you're doing and pulling these stories out of these guys, and not just pulling them out, but then going and researching them and taking the time to go, okay, well, what is more here than what they're just telling me? Because there's always more than what they're going to say, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And these are the 102 stories that'll get read, but for each and every veteran on the awards night, the second night there. And
yeah, because you guys do the dinner, the big old dinner and everything on the second night there. And so that's where your work comes in. And a lot of the guys that get, mentioned and you talk about their stories and stuff, you're the one that's rounding all those up, huh?
Yes.
And sometimes people find each other. They're like, oh, you over there 10 tables over, I was there too. Or,
or I was in the spot next to you, and we were, and then we met you up over there. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
I hear that when they get back. That's a fun part.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Another beautiful part of the journey and the trip for those guys is meeting other veterans, meeting other guys that have been through it. It's a brotherhood. It really is. And when you find those guys, and when you get into that group, And then you start going, oh, I got some guys that know what I went through, and they feel more comfortable sharing those stories with each other.
Yes.
You know, and then you get to eavesdrop on them.
Yes. Yes. I think one of my favorite times I was listening to two World War II veterans, and they were both at Saipan, and Mr. Killingsworth was an officer in the boat bringing the Marines onto the shore, and Mr. Flores was one of the Marines that was in the boat.
Mm-hmm.
No, not the boat, but they started talking about the waves, the currents, this and that, and it was amazing just to be sitting there listening to those two men talking about that.
Because the details they remember, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you meant, the waves were crashing so crazy, and I remember the boat going this way and then swaying back that way, and I remember seeing that boat did that. You were in there? Oh yeah, I was in there. You know what I mean? It's that is so cool that you guys get to bring them together. Flight is taking off Monday. What time is it? The flight taking off?
Well, it'll leave at 9
a.m.
but
if you
the folks will be there at 6:30, and then we come back, God willing, on time at 6:30 on Wednesday out at the airport. So hopefully, if you've never been to one, it's a lot of fun. It's a party, and it's
come
good
back
times.
and welcome the guys home is the big thing. And there's always, the Kern County is great showing up to those kinds of things, and those guys come off that plane, and I don't know if some of them are expecting it or not, that welcome back home kind of thing, and especially for the Vietnam guys, right? Because when they actually came home from war, they didn't get that welcome home type of thing, that when they come back from honor flight, it's kind of like this is the way it was supposed to be, and it's I don't want to say it's making up for it, but it's making up a lot for maybe the way that they came home. So Wednesday night, 6, be out there probably 6. I would say be out there at 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, parking can be a challenge.
Yeah, so get out there.
But it's worth it.
Right out there at Meadows Field. The guys will be returning. There'll be all kinds of setup out there. So you guys go out there on Wednesday when they come back, and then you have to come back. You have to bring some veterans that have all these stories, because you know which ones have the best stories, and those are the ones. I mean, I want to hear all of them, but I want to you know the ones that are like, wow. And so we're going to talk more with her. I have a feeling in the future, I hear a show coming based on veterans and Sherry's knowledge of them, hosted by Sherry. I like the sound of that. No, thank you, ladies. Thank you seriously for the work that your whole team does in Honor Flight Kern County, and doing what you guys do for veterans. It is very, 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 just, I don't even know the words to describe it. It's it's rewarding on so many levels, and those guys deserve it so much. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Of course, we'll have it back. It's Honor Flight Kern County. They have a flight taking off on Monday, and then the veterans will return on Wednesday. Over 100 veterans, right, going on this flight, 102 of them. So you guys get out there Wednesday to the airport. I'll remind you, don't worry. I know it's Friday. You got the whole weekend and everything. I'll remind you on Wednesday. I'll take care. That's what I do here. That's what we do here. And let's get to a break. On the other side, I'll still try to give away some tickets. 661-842-5376. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back. Yeah, thank you. Of course. No, for reals. We need to do something.
Kern Radio. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN. The Ralph Bailey Show. Weekdays at 3 p.m.
I am excited about the Artemis program and the fact that we're going back to the moon in 27 and going to set up a base in 28 and move on to Mars and begin deep space travel. And I hope the listener is wrong. I hope most folks are at least interested in what's going on, let alone being fascinated by it, but at least have some interest in the future in space.
The Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore, and every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home, like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. Shop Wayfair's Wayday from April 25th through 27th. Wayfair, every style, every home.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Get ready for the 11th annual Mac and Cheese Fest, happening Saturday, May 9th at the Kern County Fairgrounds from 2 to 6 p.m. This year's event is going to be bigger and better than ever. Enjoy endless servings of mac and cheese, along with refreshing beers, spiked seltzers, cocktails, and live music. Tickets are on sale now. For more information and to grab your tickets, visit BakersfieldMacandCheeseFest.com. Happening Saturday, May 9th at the Kern County Fairgrounds from 2 to 6 p.m.
This event benefits the Bakersfield Ronald McDonald House.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
About to have a great weekend. It's going to be beautiful outside. Sun's going to be shining. Birds are going to be singing.
It's WrestleMania weekend.
It's
JR.
WrestleMania weekend. Chris won't see the outside for 2 whole days.
No, that's not true. I got a baseball game I got to be at. But
you'll be outside, but you're going to be like this. You're gonna be
when that thing
WrestleMania on my
starts
phone.
at 3, 4 o'clock, I'm sorry. My nephew's going to
I was
have to
gonna
sit
say,
there and wait.
Just tell me when my nephew's up to bat.
Yep, that's it. You pitch? Okay,
You
good.
pitching? No, just tell me when he's up to bat. Yes, it is a WrestleMania weekend. We'll talk a little bit about WrestleMania here later in the show. It's been a while since I've watched one, and now there's a 2-day extravaganza. Oh my goodness, live in Las Vegas, actually, right?
It is.
Allegiant Stadium.
Yep.
Yeah.
And next year was supposed to be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, but with everything going on, they decided that's not happening
I
anymore.
don't think that's gonna. Maybe Chris, just maybe they can do it on the lawn of the White House. They're gonna have a UFC fight there, right?
They are, and I have on a sneaky suspicion and on good authority that Trump was in Vegas yesterday.
He's on his way to Phoenix right now. He's about to get off the plane.
Yeah. I somebody looked at me and said, "Is he about to do what I think he's going to do?" I said, "No, he'll be gone out of Nevada before we actually see him in a WWE ring." But you never know.
It wouldn't be his first time.
No, it would not. That's why he was asking me. That's exactly what my friend was asking me. He's like,
Trump
"No,
doing in Vegas? What's Trump doing in Vegas?"
Exactly. They're like, "No, not him." And I said, "Yeah, well, it's possible. You never know."
Oh goodness, yes, it is WrestleMania weekend. But get outside; it's going to be beautiful weather. It really is. There's plenty of things to do. Like I mentioned, there's the Sound of Bakersfield going on Sunday behind In Your Wildest Dreams on F Street. I think the Cal Water folks have their 100th celebration going on also behind In Your Wildest Dreams as part of the DBA's weekend of events. That's going on tomorrow. Plenty of things to do. Free concerts at Jastrow Park. All sorts of fun things. It's Bakersfield right now, and it is beautiful outside. We'll get to a break on the other side. Pastor Bart stops in, going to talk about Trump, Jesus, young men entering church in record numbers. It's the JR Show. We'll be right back.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN, FM, K241CI Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. As the longest shutdown in federal government history drags on, Republicans on Capitol Hill have run out of patience with their Democratic Party counterparts. On the Salem News program this week on Capitol Hill with Tony Perkins, House Speaker Mike Johnson says he plans to enact a so-called skinny reconciliation package next week since, in his words, Democrats are playing politics with our national security.
Very sadly, shockingly, the Democrats have decided that they want to zero out the accounts of border security and immigration and customs enforcement. It's a shocking thing to even say, but that's where our politics have devolved. They don't want to do it at all. And so we have to do it on our own. We have to do it through a reconciliation bill, because that's the only way to get around the 60-vote threshold necessity in the Senate. That's going to happen next week. Republicans are now carrying the ball by ourselves.
Speaker Johnson's full interview will be heard when This Week on Capitol Hill is broadcast beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time Saturday on the Salem News Channel. Cameras in the courtrooms have long exposed the inner workings of some of America's most spectacular criminal cases. Now calls to bar cameras from Tyler Robinson's trial and the killing of Charlie Kirk are reigniting the debate over whether they belong.
Robinson's attorneys want cameras banned from a Utah courtroom, pointing to sometimes sensationalist media coverage they fear will foster widespread bias against their client as he faces prosecution in last September's shooting death of the conservative activist on a college campus. Prosecutors want cameras allowed and suggested that they could help dispel conspiracy theories and, quote, distorted narratives swirling around the case since Kirk was shot while speaking to a crowd of thousands. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Another good day on Wall Street with the Dow up by 868 points. The NASDAQ rose 365. The S&P 500 climbed by 84 points. More at townhall.com.
Nice.
Here's something most people don't know. When Warren Buffett was just 13 years old, he didn't put his money into a savings account while other kids were earning next to nothing at local banks. Buffett put $114 into a little-known investment. Today, that $114 would be worth over $15 million. And it wasn't a risky trade. It wasn't insider knowledge. It was an account that's been around since 1888. And over the last 25 years, it's averaged 29% a year. That's what happens when your money is allowed to compound. Compare that to today's savings account, paying less than 0.5%, while inflation quietly eats away at your buying power. Buffett understood early, banks are great businesses, just not for savers. If you'd like to see what some investors call the 29% account, go now to ask29account.com. That's ask29account.com. Ask29account.com.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
Man who the cops chased and confronted. I'm Chris Davis, and that's because police say 41-year-old Giovanni Montoya Guzman of Bakersfield shot someone on South Pepper Drive back on April 10th before he was chased, wrecked, and confronted by deputies and shot and killed on Highway 58. Guzman was ID'd Friday by the Kern County Coroner's Office. Those deputies say the person they believe Guzman shot was taken to the hospital by private vehicle. They have not ID'd that person and did not provide an update on their condition. It's now being called accidental. That is the death of a man who fell from a balcony on 20th Street back on April 7th. Firefighters and police were called that night just before 11 p.m. about a person with major injuries, and they found the man. ID'd Friday as 57-year-old Scott Brian McCullough, severely hurt. He later died, and homicide detectives were put on the case because police believed it was suspicious. The report Friday, though, said the death may have been accidental. The Stevie Wonder impersonator charged with attempting to molest a child is likely to get out soon, sentenced to time served after pleading no contest to contacting a minor with the intent to commit a sex act and annoying or molesting a child. Several other charges against 55-year-old Tino Ebach, who impersonates Stevie Wonder for a living, were dropped as part of his plea deal. The incident happened in June of last year at a convenience store on Stockdale Highway where the child was grabbed. The counties in this area are not doing as badly as many around the country as far as the dry weather goes. Most of California, according to a new map released Thursday by the U.S. Drought Monitor, is abnormally dry, which is a lower level drought. Part of the reason for that is the less dense snowpack from this year, which has led to drier vegetation and a bigger risk for wildfires. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Please. Flores, time is up. Thank you very much.
I had 3 more seconds and I had the whole thing. I was supposed to have 3 minutes.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
It's the JR Show. From Studio 99 at the American General Media Complex, here is your host, JR.
Welcome back. Second hour of the show. That's right. We've been at it now for about a week now. 2 hours. Just when they thought they were going to bring me down. No. The boss said, give them 1 more hour. Why not? Why not, JR? So now we are from 1 to 3 p.m. So check us out. If you're just joining us and going, huh? Yes, we are on from 1 to 3 p.m. now. It's right here, Kern Radio. Check us out online, kernradio.com. Download the Kern Radio app to the smart device. Check us out on YouTube. We're streaming. Just go over to YouTube and search up Kern Radio, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and watch us from the Kern Radio studios, all powered by Adaptive Networks. It is a Friday, so that means we are talking faith. And one of my favorite pastors in all of the lands is Pastor Bart Hight, not just because he baptized me, but because he baptized me. He helped change my life. What's up, brother? How's it going, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. You've been on the show before.
I'm a reoccurring guest.
Yeah, last time you showed up, you shamed everybody for fasting on social media.
I shamed everybody on doing biblical
said,
fast.
that ain't no fasting. Get out of here with that noise. That's basically what you said. Food, substance. Man. You need something that you need every day. Not your addiction to social media. Even though you do need help with that too. Goodness. I brought you in. I texted you yesterday. A couple of things in the news, at least this week going on. We'll get to the one in a second about the men that are showing up in droves to church. And I know that you guys have a men's group out there that has just been on fire recently.
Yeah.
But the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was over, I guess it was last weekend with Trump getting into a feud with the Pope, and then the picture surfacing that he posted where it's Trump the healer, the doctor, or was it Trump Jesus?
I have no idea.
And I mean, a part of me, Pastor, wants to go, whatever. Like that doesn't matter. Why should I even care? But then another part of me goes, I'm a little offended by it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you feel as a pastor with that? And how do you take that to your, you know what I mean? Your congregation, at least.
I don't think it was wise. I don't think it was blasphemous either.
Okay.
I just think he wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because he believes in his own hype, because he does have people in his cabinet comparing him to Jesus. But I have to wash everything by the lens of the word. And I literally don't ascribe to the left or the right. I'm a conservative Christian, but I don't let my conservative beliefs influence my Christianity.
Dictate your faith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going, but when it comes to that, I don't think it was blasphemous. I just think he wasn't thinking, it wasn't wise.
No.
And I'm not going to hold it against him, but all I can do is pray for him, because that's what the Bible says to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be offended by it. I'm just going to say, okay, he needs to be discipled. Who's discipling him? He says he's a believer. He needs to be discipled.
He needs some Jesus.
He needs somebody in his to say, hey, DJT. Hey, let's slow a roll.
Maybe not that one.
Yeah.
Maybe not
that one. And then, I don't know if he was sincere when he said, well, I thought it was a picture of me as a doctor. And I'm like, that's why the Red Cross guy is in the background. I'm like, But, because there's a segment of your audience that will probably agree with me. There's a segment of them probably won't agree with me. And that's totally fine. But I'm not swayed by man's opinion. Like I have to, my authority comes from the kingdom, and that's the thought process I have to go.
Everything has to go based on the word and the truth.
Yeah, that's what was it? James says that we have to examine through the word, the lens of the word. The word's a lamp unto our feet, a light unto our path. So everything has to be examined. We have to use the word is a mirror, but also magnifying glass. So I have to look in the mirror, but also look at myself and say, okay, because it's, there's still things about me I still have.
Where do I fall short? Where do I still?
Because the Bible says we've all sinned and fallen short of that glorious
Oh, yeah.
standard. And that's what it is. And he did that. He fell short. And as believers, our job is to not judge, but to pray. And that's what I've been doing, and praying for him, and praying that somebody. I've been really praying that somebody. I know he has his faith council and Paula White and all those different ones, but I'm praying that there's somebody that will get in his purview, that will talk to him and disciple him. Yeah, he needs to be discipled.
Yeah, because that's exactly. It's prayer and discipleship.
Yeah.
and showing him and teaching him and just saying, hey, maybe this thing's or that thing's not okay, and how would the Lord see that?
Yeah, you are the leader of the free world, so you are held at a higher standard. But he is a man.
He is a human being.
He is a human being who needs Jesus, who needs grace, and
that's what we're taught. We're not taught to tear down just because he made a mistake. We all do. We don't tear him down. We help build him up.
Yeah, my first thought was, oh, come on, really?
Well, it takes away from so much.
Yeah, and it was Easter Sunday night too. Is even the hard thing for me. It was like,
it's in the weeds stuff. You know what I mean? It's things that he shouldn't even be dealing with on his level.
Yeah.
Right. He always picks these battles that are almost like, why?
This is where I see it. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's not a career politician.
No. Oh no.
He is a businessman from New York.
Yeah.
So he's thinking that way. He's not thinking career politics. He's just a New Yorker who says what he thinks. I think that's why people relate to him. He says what he feels, but there's sometimes he has to, buddy, you are now literally a career politician. And that's just my stance on it now.
Yeah. Like I said, the part of me just goes, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth the conversation. It's fodder.
You're gonna have bad with the good. You're gonna have good with the bad. So we just have, and that happens in every political cycle, every political season. Both sides are gonna see something. And
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Now, what it is more young men coming into church. I read this the other day. It was a Gallup poll, and it said that there's a sudden rise in religion among young men who are now far more likely than young women to say religion is an important part of their lives. And data released this week, compiled in 2024 and 2025, it found that 42% of men ages 18 to 29 say religion is very important, and that's up from 28%. That's a big number.
That's a big jump.
It is, and it's just, and I see it. I see it online, and I see these men's groups growing all over town. I was a part of one back in 2020. Yeah, this is about August 2020. I joined the influencers group, and that group in town. And it started off then as a men's group.
Yeah.
And it was strictly a men's group, and it was men coming together to be men in a way that men had never been men before, I think is the way I can explain it. You know what I mean? Yeah, we were sitting around talking about manly things, but we were talking about them in ways that I don't think men had ever been comfortable talking about things.
Yeah.
And it changed my whole perspective on life.
Yeah.
And how I viewed things, my eyes were open to spiritual battles that I didn't realize before even existed. Right. And it made me, at least in those settings where it was men, made me feel, we just talked about veterans coming back from honor flight and how they felt comfortable talking to other veterans about the things that they had been through.
Yeah.
And that's what these men's groups around town are doing. It's making men feel comfortable talking to other men about things that they're going through, because we as men struggle with a lot of things that we might not be comfortable talking about.
I think we have been, I know, like for me, I grew up, I'm Gen X. So I grew up and you're a man, but I've always had this, my mom called it a tender heart. That's just how I've been. And I've never really related to a lot of men's ministries, and I really wasn't a part of any. But when I got involved with influencers, and we have journey groups at my church, it was something that we dive deep in the Word. We are able to share our struggles, our hurts, our habits, our hangups, our problems, and you have guys in there that have gone through what you've gone through. And one thing I love about it for me as a pastor is in that room, I am not Pastor Bart.
Right.
I am just Bart. I'm one of the guys.
You're one of the guys.
Every once in a while, one of whoever's leading the group looks at me like, hey, I need you to kind of go a little bit deeper with this and explain what this is. And I will, but like I have issues. I have things. I have problems. Lori and I, my wife, we fight. We have things that we argue about, and it's just finding that space with a bunch of guys to be vulnerable. That's what it's about. Because we were not taught. Men are not taught to be vulnerable, and right now, in the setting we're in, and I think we have more men who are more vulnerable. First off, are vulnerable to tell their issues. Secondly, they're vulnerable to receive Jesus. And thirdly, they're vulnerable to let the Holy Spirit do something special inside them.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. And when you let the Holy Spirit in and let him tenderize that hard heart, it's beautiful. Like, for example, we have this guy, my first Journey season, he came in, he flat out told us he's an atheist. Became, like, toward the end, became a believer. And like a week after, he had a massive heart attack and passed away.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's what it's all about right there. Like, we didn't judge him. Like, he flat out said, I don't think I believe in God. But toward the end, he was a believer.
Wow.
It was just amazing.
And then passed away.
And passed away.
But passed away knowing
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is that's drawing in young men into churches these days?
I think it's authenticity from the pulpit. You have to be authentic from the pulpit. Our 11 o'clock gathering is mainly high school, college, young.
Really?
Yeah. We have a multi-generational congregation.
And a lot of churches do that.
But our 11 a.m. gathering, I know at my church, our 11 a.m. gathering is mainly our high school and young adult.
Really?
It's and millennial families, young families, they are there, and it's really cool. Like, we were laughing because Boots in the Park was Saturday.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we're probably going to have a dip in attendance because Boots in the Park was Saturday. And all of our young family, no.
They all showed up.
All the kids went home early and were at church Sunday morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're the ones up front worshiping. They're the ones doing it.
I see that. I do see that more often. When I got into Canyon Hills a couple years ago, they had this young, it was the young adults. And they were the ones that were up there worshiping like crazy. And I don't know if it's something about the worship music these days that got these kids fired up, but there is a movement among young adults. Do you agree?
No, there's absolutely a movement. And I think the church needs to embrace, like, they said, we need to have a young adult ministry. Well, now I think we need to embrace them in the main church.
Yeah.
We called it big church growing up,
Yeah.
But we need to embrace them in the main church and teach them. They're wanting something deeper. They're not just wanting, hey, tell me how to live.
Superficial,
like,
because I think nowadays they get a lot of that with technology, with social media, and there is this big push to even disconnect a little bit and set your phones down.
Yeah.
And
I know more young adults who have flip phones now than iPhones.
Oh yeah. Because they don't want that distraction anymore for years. And luckily we are on that. I'm in Gen X with you. Luckily we are in that age where we didn't grow up so much tied to it. You know what I mean? We were still playing outside, riding
There was
bikes.
no Life 360.
Right. There was nothing. There was none of
nothing.
that. There was no Meta glasses. There was nothing. We didn't have.
There's no proof that what we did.
No. Thank God.
Thank you, Jesus.
But these younger kids, that's all they know.
Yeah.
This social media is life to them, and it's given them, I think, this false view of the world that a lot of them are starting to get tired of and are waking up to and disconnecting from it and looking for something that has more meaning, more substance, more depth than what they find on social media.
Oh, absolutely. I think social media gives us a false sense of reality, and when these young adults, when that reality is broken by the real world, then I think it crushes them first.
Mm-hmm.
But then they have to realize that, okay, there has to be something. Like I'm seeing people who all hell's breaking loose in their lives, but there's something, they're still smiling through it. What is it? And we are able to give them that now.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they get in, they want to know deep, like, okay, what's this? I have more conversations. Hey, Pastor Bart, I'm reading the scripture. Like, what does this mean? It's like, okay, let's break it down. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Can you hang around for a little
Yeah,
bit?
I can hang around for a
All
little
right.
bit.
We're going to get to a quick break. On the other side, we'll continue the conversation with Pastor Bart. He's also got a birthday coming up this weekend. If you guys want to come celebrate on Sunday, he's going to be up there at the pulpit speaking on his birthday. No, the man doesn't even take his birthday off. I will be in attendance, and I will save you guys all seats if you want to come sit with me. I'll be there in the early service, though. I ain't hanging out with the kids. I'm the old man. I get up early for church. I do. I try to get in. You know what I mean? Get that. What's the earliest one?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. I'll be there at 8 o'clock in the front row if you guys want to come sit with me. I've already got 2 people, Robert and Liz. You know Liz
I
now.
love Liz. I love her.
Liz is a beautiful, beautiful soul. Yeah, she is so. I am so proud of that woman and the things that she's doing in her life. Mm-hmm. Her sobriety. She's going back to school. Yeah. She is chasing after Jesus like nobody's business. I love to see that amongst my friends. We'll talk more about that with Pastor Bart. Oh, yeah, it's also WrestleMania weekend. I heard this guy's a really big fan, so maybe I'll let him and Chris have a conversation about WrestleMania later, too.
Yes.
It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back. He's a big WrestleMania, dude.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Get outside and Chris like it's WrestleMania. You ain't going outside at all.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, I have a feeling the Knights Templar are going to be back in the news. Apparently, the Straight Outta Moose is back open again. That's always a good time. We got the hot list. We've got news and traffic and weather. We'll talk jobs with America's Job Center occurring. All happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Oh, it's already Wednesday, which means I can get to the stockyard even sooner. Where's the stockyard? What is the stockyard, you ask? Well, it's a little speakeasy right next to Casey's Steakhouse, 2525 F Street. You wouldn't even know it's there. You're going to see some ropes. You're going to see a carpet. Walk up to the door, ring the doorbell. When they ask you what's the password, tell them, why not JR? They're going to let you in. You're going to walk into one of the finest establishments, not only in Bakersfield, not only in Kern County, but probably all of California. It's like you walk into a time travel. They take you back to the days of Speak Easy. Come on in. You can get appetizers off the menu from Casey's Steakhouse if you're hungry. Have a drink with Haley. Heck, I'll be in there this weekend. They also got live music going. And if you're looking to host a party, they got a banquet room. Maybe you got a birthday, a bridal shower. Get a hold of them over at the Stockyard, 2525 F Street, open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. to close. Come hang out with me and Haley. It's the Stockyard.
Trucordia, a new name, but a trusted partner for Kern County businesses. At Trucordia, we provide business solutions that include comprehensive commercial insurance and proactive risk strategies to help protect your company and keep operations running smoothly. We also offer benefit solutions with flexible options for both businesses and individuals, supported by easy online tools and hands-on local service that makes everything simpler. For guidance you can count on, call Don Coons at 661-401-2280. Trucordia, building trust.
Your business moves fast. Your bank should keep up. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built for momentum with tools that help you manage cash flow, streamline payments, and fuel growth. Right now, there's never been a better time to switch. Open a new Valley Strong business account and get 3 months of business banking products and services free, up to $750 in value to power your next big move. Because when your business runs stronger, the whole Valley does too. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future at valleystrong.com/business.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
Good.
Should have been long gone now.
Somebody's praying for me. I know it every morning. Somebody is. At least my mama's, I know, at least praying for me, if anybody. Man, it took a long time, Mom, but I finally found it. I finally found him. I found some Jesus. I did, Mama. I did. Thanks for all the prayers. It brought me to it. My mom was praying for a long time. Man, I hope this boy gets back into church. And it does. Sometimes it takes fall. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes hitting rock and realizing you have nothing.
My dad, I love my dad. My dad's been with Jesus a little over 20 years. I walked into the house one time. I was out with my buddies. I walk in. He was at his prayer spot in the living room, and I heard him say this: "God, if you got to put that boy in ICU to get his attention, do it." I'm like, "No, Dad, no,
Dad,
Jesus, don't listen to that senile old man. That's not even funny.
Don't listen to that, man. What you talking about? Put me in ICU."
No.
But yeah, man, I think all the parents are usually pray for their kids to find God and stuff like that. And I know in this poll it talks about young men, but it also talks about young women and how they're kind of moving away from church and not as high as numbers as young men. But when I look at it, and especially with your guys' congregation, you guys got a group of women that are equally as on fire as the men are.
Those ladies, like we'll do ladies' nights, and I think we get 350, 400 women just coming. All they want to do, like they don't want like the program. They want worship, they want word, and they want community, and that's what it's all about. Is like worship, word, and community. And they come in hot, dude. Like it's like I walked in there one night and I'm just like, okay, these ladies are singing loud. I can hear them outside. Like I'll show up like late on purpose so I can see the parking lot, and I'll walk in and I'll just hear it. And every once in a while, my wife and our women's director let me up on stage to bless the ladies and stuff,
and then kick you out.
Then they kick me out. I get kicked out. But no, right now, like it's all about community. Right now, we're ending our life group season and our journey season here in a couple weeks. And I think the last count we had in not just journey groups, but life groups as well. We had close to 600 people in community.
Goodness.
And we get 500 people a week on campus just for journey.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is not just our church.
No,
other churches, other denominations, they come to journey groups.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about the influencers group and these journey groups is they're sprouting out all over town.
Yeah,
they have been, and they're everywhere, and almost a lot of churches now have some sort of journey group. And what's really cool is that this church does it on this night, or maybe Monday morning or Thursday night is over here, and if Tuesday afternoon doesn't work for you, this church does it on Thursday nights, and they're all kind of doing the same programs. They're all reading from the same materials, learning the same things, and then they all come together. You know what I mean? And you got this big giant group of just believers on fire. And like I said, it started as a men's group, and then the couples got in, and then and then once the couples got in and we let women in, they started seeing what was going on. They're like, well, we want our own group. What the heck? Why can't we have ours?
and my wife's in it. I'm in it. I'm on my third. This is my third season. She's on her second season, and we'll do it again next season. And I told somebody recently, Journey will never not be happening on our campus because we're seeing the fruit.
Oh, tremendous!
We are seeing the fruit. Like I think the reason our church has grown so much in the last 3 years. We started with 200, and now we're running close to 1,500 a weekend. And I put that on how the journey has impacted families.
Well,
we have men leading their families to church. Because what is it? 82% of families will go to church if the husband leads.
Yeah, and that's how it's supposed to go. Yeah. And it's just it's remarkable to watch, because I've told you, I know a lot of people that go to your church now, and to see the people that I have people that I went to high school with, people that I went to junior high with, who I've watched, because on social media, we've all watched each other for the last decade or whatever it's been. And to see the shift over the last few years of those people turning to God and turning to Jesus, it's just so beautiful to watch, man.
Well, they said they will know you by your fruit. And it's like, well, I knew him then, but look at them now.
Look at them now.
It's like, what's that worship song? If I knew then what I know now.
Yeah,
that's what's going on right now. That's what we're seeing. It's people they're seeing what's different about you. I have to know.
How can I get some of
How
that?
can I get some
How
of
can
that?
I get some of that?
Yeah.
We got to take a break. Can you stick around a little bit?
Yep,
longer?
I can.
I'm going to hang him around because we are going to talk WrestleMania with
Heck
my man.
yeah. Let's go.
He's a big old wrestle freak, I heard. So we'll let him and Chris have at it a little bit. I'll jump in. I haven't watched it in a long time, but it'll be fun anyways. It's the JR Show. We're talking with Pastor Bart from New Life Kern Radio. We'll be right back.
With us for the news, I'm Steve Peters in Washington. Iran says the Strait of Hormuz is fully open to commercial vessels. But President Trump says the American blockade on Iranian ships and ports will stay in force until Tehran reaches a deal with the U.S., including on its nuclear program. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi posted Friday on X that the crucial waterway is now fully open to commercial vessels. Congress has approved a short-term renewal of a controversial surveillance program used by U.S. spy agencies just days before it was set to expire. A bill extending the program until April 30th cleared the Senate by voice vote today. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 868 points. The Nasdaq rose 365. The S&P advanced 84. More details at SLNews.com.
Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. The Stevie Wonder impersonator accused of attempting to molest a child last year at a convenience store on Stockdale Highway will get time served in a plea deal reached between 55-year-old Tino Ebach and prosecutors. He's pleading no contest to charges of contacting a minor with the intent to commit a sex act and annoying or molesting a child. The man who fell from a balcony and died from those injuries April 7th in downtown Bakersfield was ID'd Friday as 57-year-old Scott Brian McCullough. Bakersfield PD at first had their homicide detectives on the case because they said the death was suspicious. Now it looks as though it may have been accidental. Gas has come down a few cents this afternoon with a national average now at $4.03 per gallon, and Gas Buddy reporting the average in California is $5.83. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Kern Radio. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays at 3 p.m.
You know, a lot of people think that Swalwell getting out of this race is a good thing. I think it destroys our hopes that two Republicans could be atop of the leaderboard come the general election, because his 12% is going to go somewhere, and it's most likely going to Katie Porter and Tom Steyer. But one of those two Republicans, Hilton and Bianca, will be there in the general election.
The Ralph Bailey Show, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Welcome back. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. Check us out online, kernradio.com, and also stream it on YouTube. Head over there and search up Kern Radio. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Watch us from the Kern Radio studios powered by Adaptive Networks. We have Pastor Bart Hight. He is from New Life Church, and we are talking all things. We're talking young men entering church in record numbers. We're talking about Trump Jesus. That's what I've called it all week. Trump Jesus, Trump Jesus, whatever. And it's something that he won't take credit for. I was asking him, you guys are on fire, this and that. You've grown over the last 2 or 3 years in numbers that you couldn't even imagine. And then I go, well, how long have you been there, Pastor Bart? How long have you been over at New Life Northwest out there?
3 years.
I wouldn't say it has anything to do with you.
I don't.
I know you're not going to take
I'm
credit.
not going to take credit for any of it.
But you talked about how, like, and I asked why do you think people are coming in, and you talked about being just authentic from the pulpit, and I think that's something that you do really well. I think you have found a place where you can relate to that congregation, and that congregation can relate to you.
I had somebody come up to me one time.
Like, you're a perfect fit there.
I love that area. I had somebody come up to me one time and say, we know you and Lori had problems in your marriage. We don't have to hear about it all the time. And I said, well, get used to it, because that's our story. And every week we have new people coming in. And if the Lord leads me to share that part of our story, yes, we were done. Yes, we were on the verge of divorce. Yes, I was about to move out, but God. And he did something amazing. And in the last 17 years, he's moved and restored our marriage, restored each other. And if my story touches one couple, which, and it helps them with their story, with their marriage, with their problem, it's going to happen. And I want people to, I'm a human. I want you to see my scars.
Yeah, because I think for a long time we always looked at priests and pastors as these perfect people, right? They stood up at they're the highest of the highs of the holy. They're only way through God. They're perfect. Yeah. They follow God in the way that God's supposed to be followed. They never mess up. Do. And we always looked at it like. And then you hear these stories of pastors or priests getting in trouble, and you're like, well, wait a second.
Yeah.
But do you have to remember, they're human.
They're human. We're all jacked up.
Yeah.
we're all messed up. Like I said earlier, we've all sinned, and we still, this is a daily walk.
It is.
It's like we were talking about, it's a journey. It's a walk that we have to walk out. And my job is to help you on your journey. And if my story can help you in one small way, keep moving, keep going, then I'm going to help you in that way. Yeah.
And we keep saying it because, like you said, it's just like the radio show. I can't act like everybody's here all the time for the whole 2 hours. I have to tell it again, and because maybe somebody that wasn't listening at 1:30 is now listening at 2:30. It's the same thing for you. Why do you keep telling us about your, the story that you've been through? Well, because maybe there's somebody that hasn't heard it yet.
Pastor Wayne Cordero, one of our apostolic elders, told me one time. He said, "He who has the greatest story wins the day." Yes. And that's what it is. It's like we have to tell our stories. That's our testimony.
It is our testimony.
My test became my testimony.
That's right. Yeah. And it's every day is every day I have to go and sacrifice myself before. It's not just there's not just a one-time thing like, oh, today I give myself to God and then I'm cool for the rest of my life. No, every day you wake up, you have to recommit yourself to giving your day to God.
Yeah. The Apostle Paul said that we are changed from glory to glory. And when I grew up, it always was like Sunday morning to Sunday morning, or Sunday night to Sunday night, or revival to revival, or church camp to church camp. It's not that. It's a daily change. We are told to crucify our flesh daily, pick up our cross, and follow him daily.
Yeah.
I have to ask Jesus to forgive me daily because, I'm a pastor, but I'm also still human.
Yeah. And Jesus will be sitting next to him on the couch this weekend, watching WrestleMania all weekend. All weekend long, because even during that, he's still a pastor. Have you watched that video? There's a video I saw circulating online. It's Jesus wrestling.
Oh, it's at an independent show. And yes, I laughed.
I laughed my butt off. Dude.
Somebody sent it to me, and it said, what about this, atheists? I died. I thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah, somebody told me that you're a huge wrestling fan.
I have been watching professional wrestling since I was 8 years old.
As if I.
And I didn't start with the WWF.
Okay.
Ric Flair was my first.
So you were a WCW.
NWA,
Yeah.
WCW, Texas Wrestling, the Independents, and the territory system. That's what I grew up.
That's
in.
where you grew up, and you stuck on through all the way.
Stuck on, man. I've watched WrestleMania every year since I was 8 years old, and this Sunday I'm turning 50 years old. And what will I be doing on my 50th birthday? I will be preaching Sunday morning, watching WrestleMania Sunday night, while packing to go to South Carolina.
The WrestleMania will be on. You better believe it. And I mean, it's big again.
It's big business.
It's so big. It's 2 days now.
Yeah.
WrestleMania is 2 days now. Chris is a huge fan. He's got a show over there, and it boggles my mind that this thing has grown. I remember watching it as a kid, and this thing has grown to the level still that it is at.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My favorite part is the surprises. Who's going to show up? Who's going to who's going to do this? Who's going to turn heel? Who's going to be the baby face? I love it.
Oh, good. Get him
It's
some
a soap
headphones,
opera
Chris,
for
so he
men.
can hear
You
you.
can have your Real Housewives. You can have your Kardashians. You can have your all that stuff. No. This is what it is, man. It's our reality TV.
Am I going to hurt your feelings by saying, it's fake though, right? Like we all know that it's not. That is. See, Chris is already saying something as he goes out the door. He'll come in and turn his microphone on right now. But that. I mean, well, I guess just so is the Real Housewives. So are any other. Did you break them?
No, they were already broken. Here we go. I got them.
So are all the other soap operas or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the stories.
It's all the stories.
What,
Let me ask you this: do you think Woody's real?
Who?
Woody and Buzz, are they real too?
Woody and Buzz.
Watch that, don't you?
I watch that. Shoot, man.
But I'm not going to watch Toy Story 5.
Okay, no, it'll take it even further. Was Andy real?
Andy, yeah.
Andy a real child?
Andy a real child. There's all a little bit of Andy inside all.
Exactly.
What makes both of you guys, as grown men, still watch wrestling?
Childhood joy.
Yeah. Joy. Are you trying to kill joy?
I'm not. No.
No, he comes after holidays too.
That's
He wants to kill childhood joy.
JR's wrestling name is JR the Joy Killer Flores.
Exactly. Two JRs in wrestling that people
I need a finishing move. Even my daughter, dude, she's 9 years old, and I think she gets it from her brother or something. She has to, right? Because she's all of it. She's like, I'll be flipping through channels sometimes, and she's like, wait, stop. Who's that? And she loves the women wrestlers. I'm like,
heck yeah.
You're 9, kid. What are you?
It's Io Sky. It's Rhea Ripley.
I had no idea. Is there anybody still wrestling from when I was watching? You grew up watching wrestling. Is there anybody still wrestling from when I was wrestling?
Oh yeah, the Rock and Roll Express are still wrestling.
I mean, how far back are you willing to go here? Because Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio are still going.
Rey Mysterio is 52. He's going to be in a ladder match.
Technically, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Undertaker run everything.
Yeah.
So the guys that were wrestling then are now
the
in
Vince
charge.
McMahon of the whole thing. Yeah.
Triple H runs the creative for the main company. Undertaker runs the Mexican wrestling, AAA, and Shawn Michaels runs the developmental NXT.
And there's different leagues.
Do
apparently.
do not judge me, please.
I'm not.
Oh, I did an entire episode today on our sports show about wrestling, so I could not care less about judgment.
Who is the big wrestler right now? Who's the biggest one?
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Dusty's son.
Dusty.
The what was he? The golden. What was it?
That's his other son. That's Cody's brother.
That's Goldust.
Goldust.
Yeah. That's Cody's older brother.
Is the other brother, and now now it's Cody, and then the dad was
son of a plumber.
Yes.
Dusty Rhodes,
the big guy, blonde hair.
Yeah, he had the polka dots for a little bit, and then what was the black lady's name that ran with him?
Oh, I can't remember.
See, I stumped them both.
No.
Stumped them both.
Sapphire.
Sapphire.
Thank you, because I could not remember her name, to be honest.
Got you. And she's still alive. She still does appearances.
She really?
Yeah, she does.
Nice.
That is insane. That you guys seriously. So what is the big match over the weekend?
There's the big one will be Cody, Randy Orton, and then there's CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Those are the two main events.
And then if you're a UFC fan, Brock Lesnar's going too.
Yeah, against Obafemi.
Wait, Brock Lesnar's wrestling?
Yes.
Again?
That's where he started.
Yeah, it's the same. He was a wrestler and then
went to UFC
and then
the Patriots.
And then went back to
and then went back.
And then back, yeah.
My goodness gracious.
Rock does it too.
Yeah. And there's rumors
Yes, he's
that The
actually
Rock
in Vegas
and,
right now.
and Stone Cold will be.
Stone Cold will be in WrestleMania. See,
That's what we're hearing. Yeah.
now you have my attention.
Yeah.
Because outside of probably Ultimate Warrior, Stone Cold Steve Austin is probably my second favorite wrestler.
Yeah,
The two biggest pops, the three biggest pops will be if The Rock shows up, if Stone Cold shows up, and when John Cena's theme plays because
as
he's
the host of the whole
hosting.
thing.
That's going to
because he's done, right?
Yeah, he
Cena's
retired.
out. Yeah.
No one ever retires. Though.
Nobody retires from wrestling.
No,
The
you
minute
never.
you're out.
It's always say never say never. How many times did Shawn Michaels retire?
Exactly.
He lost his smile. He hurt his back. Then he found Jesus and he came back.
Yeah. Did he really?
Yeah. He's a brother in Christ. Shawn Michaels, brother in Christ.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Loves Jesus.
Do you see how he worked it all the way back in on a Faith Friday? We went from talking about God to wrestling, and he brought it right back in.
Bro, there's a lot of wrestlers out there that are believers.
I see that happening a lot now too, not just with wrestlers, with a lot of athletes in general, giving God a lot of credit. And I mean, we saw it with the astronauts that just came back, and him just being like, you know what, I just want to give it all to God.
All they had to do was crucify Tim Tebow. Sorry. Low hanging fruit.
Just, goodness gracious.
Oh my God.
That's Chris Burdick, you guys, not JR. Just, is a disclaimer up?
No, not right now.
I don't even know where to go after that.
The claims on this program do not represent
New Life Church,
Pastor
J.R.
Bart.
Flores, Pastor Bart, the current radio programming, anybody else. It's Chris Burdick and Chris Burdick alone. Send all your emails. We don't know. We don't even know who's receiving them anymore. But you see that a lot now. Even the Bieber at Coachella.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These I guess outward expressions for God and now in culture, it's becoming more acceptable, I think, than it has ever before.
Like, Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll, like that whole thing, that's really cool. And, people, I hear people, oh, you're not really saved. Well, listen, you can't judge somebody. You have to look at their fruit. And right now, Jelly Roll flat out says, I'm still walking this life. Like, I'm still new. I'm still being discipled. Like, he says, I'm being discipled. He's still learning. And we can't judge somebody. Don't judge. I heard somebody preach, don't judge my journey. Like, we all have a journey to get to Jesus, and you can't judge somebody's journey. Like, you can't judge the Bieber's journey. Yes, he does some stupid things and acts stupid, but
we all do.
We all do.
And we all don't have that magnifying glass on us that really just shines on us. That, like, I could, and I guess I get it a little bit, but I can go home and screw up and nobody's going to see it.
Yeah, no one sees. Yeah, but
when
you're in the public eye and you have just a magnifying glass on you, you're going to get, people are going to, he calls himself a believer, calls himself a Jesus lover, follower of Christ. Well, look what he did here. Well, he messed up.
Becoming a Christian doesn't make you perfect.
No,
by any stretch of the means. And that's what I think people forget sometimes.
You forget, I had somebody tell me one time, well, I'm looking for the perfect church. And I said, well, as soon as you walk in, it's going to cease to be perfect.
Yeah.
Because none of us are perfect.
Wait till you die then.
Yeah.
Because that's the only place. That's the only time you're going to get to somewhere perfect.
There's only one perfect person in the world's name is Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You're gonna no matter where you walk into, you're gonna find some church hurt somewhere.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? You just got to let that go.
Yeah.
It's above that. So who are you going for this weekend? What matches are you most anticipating, and who are you going for?
I'm looking forward to Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton. I'm going for Cody.
What about you, Chris, on that one?
Probably Randy on that one.
Okay.
But
I don't want Randy because I'm sick of Pat McAfee getting involved.
Well,
and
that's
how
true.
They inserted him.
That's
for
a lot
no
of
reason.
I love Pat McAfee, but that's because I'm an NFL fan too at my heart. But again, I don't think that they're going to let him walk away from the company, which is part of this. If Randy loses, Pat is supposedly going to walk away from the WWE forever.
Yeah.
They're not going to let that happen. So Randy's probably
we already talked about that. Once you're in, it's like the mafia.
Right,
there's only one way out.
Yeah, but if he loses, then everybody on the internet's going to say, "Hi, we don't have to deal with Pat anymore."
CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I'm probably I like Roman Reigns, but I'm probably going to go CM Punk because that was more my era.
Okay,
I'm going with the Roman.
So,
the Samoans.
Acknowledge the Samoans.
Samoans all day.
All right. How about this one? The ladder match for the IC title.
Oh, Penta keeps it.
Penta.
Yes, the luchador.
Yeah, he's the shining star right now.
Yes, absolutely.
And then
That's just gonna be fun to watch.
Gunther and Seth Rollins.
That's not going to have a winner, I don't think, because the Steiner kid.
Braun Breaker.
For you, JR, if you remember the Steiner brothers.
Rick and Scott Steiner.
Their Rick Steiner's son, his name is Braun Breaker, and he's going to have something to do with the ending of that.
Yeah, they clocked him running around the ring at 23 miles an hour.
Wow. Yeah, he's incredibly fast. He played fullback at Kent State before he became a wrestler, and he's been incredibly talented.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
and then
fast.
There was one more. Oh, Obafemi and Brock Lesnar.
I think Oba wins, but I wouldn't be surprised if the WWE just keeps Brock Lesnar's win streak going.
Oh, I think they will.
He's got what is he, undefeated or something?
He's not undefeated, but he ended the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania.
Oh,
and he is just a monster. They don't let him lose very often at all.
If he does put Oba over, it's because he's doing the favors and
Yes.
he sees greatness.
And he's going to retire pretty soon here
Yeah.
too, much like everybody else in that class. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is kind of part of that.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy.
Well,
you guys are crazy.
I follow it just as closely as I follow the NFL,
Same.
and that's saying something.
Like today, I'm like all excited because the Falcons traded for a new guy. And
Are you a Falcons fan
I'm
as
a
well?
Falcons
Oh
fan,
my
yeah.
God.
Oh my
Huge
God!
Falcons
Hey,
fan.
look at that!
the new
Fellow
bro-
Falcons
the
fan.
new
No
bro-
way.
The
The
new,
only team in Bakersfield.
the new
apparently.
bromance. It's the Bart and Chris show, you guys.
Hey, JR, why don't you sit there? We're going to talk
Go ahead,
wrestling.
you guys got
Falcons
this
football.
wrestling and Falcons football. Go ahead. See what I did? I brought you guys together.
Oh,
That's pretty funny.
I love it. The people on the air are like, what is happening?
What are they talking
They're
about?
multiplying.
But what's really cool is you're a pastor and everybody thinks that pastors have to be this way.
Yeah.
They don't watch these things. They don't do this. They don't do that. Here's Pastor Bart like, I'm the biggest wrestling head in all of Kern County. You guys, what are you talking
Oh,
about?
my entire congregation knows this. And they know like my favorite movie is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like they know everything about me.
And what's your favorite kind of music?
Hip hop.
See, it's not even worship. But that's what's beautiful about you know what I mean?
Yeah.
About today, like I said, at one point we looked at pastors and priests as these perfect things that we could never even obtain. And I think pastors like you make it more relatable and more inviting to be able to come into church and do those kinds of things.
I just, I grew up in an era when you left church on a Sunday and the pastor stood out front and shook everybody's hand.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that. And it didn't disappear into his office or into the green room and every Sunday, like we do a closing blessing. And during that closing blessing, Lori and I, my wife, we go out, we stand right out front. We have a pop-up.
You've always done that.
And
ever since I've known you, you used to do it at Terrace.
And we do it here too. It's like, even if I have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I want to be able to say hi, get to know somebody, pray for somebody, and just be available. Am I going to be able to be available to everybody? No. But I still want, like I always say, come by. If we haven't met, come by, say hi. I would love to get to know you.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. Well, hats off to all you guys are doing out there.
Thanks, brother.
I know
Appreciate
you
it.
won't take the credit for it. You'll give it back to God. That's how it's supposed to go. But you guys are doing some really, really powerful things out there at New Life in the Northwest. So,
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I notice it, and I know a lot of people are noticing. If you guys want to get to church on Sunday, you can come with me. I'll be there at the early service. What time?
8, 9:30, or 11, New Life Church Northwest, 1300 Jewetta Avenue.
That's right. I will be in attendance. Come and sit with me and watch Pastor Bart do his thing. I don't know how much wrestling he'll bring into the actual sermon. It's Sunday. I know he's going to be distracted and everything, but he'll still put a good word.
May not have a voice,
Right?
Yelling on Saturday night.
Deacon Devon could show up at any point in time.
Say that again.
Deacon Devon could show up at any point
You
in
got
time. You
Deacon
never know.
Devon could show up. Yep. And the Truth Commission will show up.
Exactly.
Hey.
Can we body slam somebody on stage at church this weekend?
No, what we'll do, I'll choke somebody in the baptistry.
We can put the devil in a chokehold is what we're going to do. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Appreciate it, man. Always love you. Pastor Bart Hight, he is with New Life Northwest. Get out there. I'll be in attendance this weekend. You guys come and check us out. Got to get to a break on the other side. We'll see what you guys are talking about. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back. That was fun, dude.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, I have a feeling the Knights Templar are going to be back in the news. Apparently, the Strait of Hormuz is back open again. That's always a good time. We got the hot list. We've got news and traffic and weather. We'll talk jobs with America's Job Center occurring, all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
I'm here with Dr. Tarkesh from Affordable Dentures and Implants. Doc, what would you say to someone who's been putting off dental work because of their fear or possible anxiety?
I say you're not alone, but don't let your fear hold you back. Affordable Denture and Implants, we offer IV sedation to make sure you're completely relaxed during your procedure. It's a safe and effective way to receive a dental care you need without any stress or discomfort.
And I heard that Affordable Dentures offer same-day dentures.
Yes, you can walk out of our office with a brand new smile in just one visit. We have an in-house lab that allows us to create custom dentures on the spot, so you don't have to wait weeks. It's perfect for patients who wants fast, efficient, and effective solutions without multiple appointments.
Get the smile you've always wanted without anxiety at Affordable Dentures and Implants. Dr. Nozar Tarkesh, who specializes in implants with IV sedation. Visit them online at affordabledentures.com. Affordable Dentures and Implants. That's what we do.
Go ahead and smile.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here for Singera Subaru. Hey, spring's finally here and the weather's getting warmer, so you might be thinking about a road trip to the coast or the desert. And of course, it would sure be nice to take off in a brand new Subaru. And here's the best part. It's a hybrid. You can lease a 2026 Crosstrek Sport Hybrid CVT. Get ready for this. For just $239 a month for 36 months and $4,000 due at signing. And you'll save a ton on gas. Plus, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. This offer ends on April 30th, so
Vince McMahon come back? You're crazy, Sergio. The Rock is coming back too? You're out of control. Was that Trump and stage at Turning Point USA event? Where's my stuff?
KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up in 3.
Welcome back. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. I want to thank Pastor Bart for coming on. Talking about all sorts of stuff. We covered a whole gamut of things. We learned that him and Chris are now best friends because they are both big wrestling fans and apparently Atlanta Falcons fans. And there's not too many of those people around, so they have a new bromance. You can listen to the Chris and Pastor Bart show, learn about Jesus and pile drivers.
Trying to think if there's any other like religious angles in wrestling, but I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
No, I don't think there has ever been.
Although there have been, trust me.
Who? Which ones have been?
Well, like I said, Deacon, Devon, which is a
what was the Brother Love?
Brother Love.
Brother.
If you really want to like go all religions here, they've done plenty of different ones that were stereotypical.
Oh, they have had stereotypes in wrestling for the longest time. What was the Sheik? The Iron Sheik? Oh my gosh, it has been terrible.
In his own way, Yokozuna.
Yokozuna
wasn't
all
even
bad.
Japanese.
It wasn't even Japanese. The $1 Million Man had Virgil. That was all bad.
Man.
It's all bad. But it was great.
There was a long time there where WWE was misrepresenting Samoan wrestlers and making them Hispanic people, black people.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter, Chris.
Vince did not care.
No, as long as it's making money, we don't care. That's all. President Trump has just taken the stage, it looks like, at the Turning Point USA rally in Phoenix. He'll be there discussing, I don't know what he's talking about, but he just got on stage, so there'll be plenty to talk about on Monday. Hey, it's going to be a beautiful weekend, you guys. 75 degrees. Get outside if you're not stuck inside watching WrestleMania. Heck, Put a big screen outside, one of those blow-ups with the projector, and watch WrestleMania outside. It's going to be beautiful. Plenty of things to do over the weekend. Get out there. Tomorrow's record store day as well. I'm going to go by going underground. Go check out my boy DJ Rec, spinning the ones and twos. Then on Sunday, I'll be at church at New Life Center. 8 o'clock in the morning. Come join me. Please, please. I beg you guys, every weekend, just come to church with me one time. I'll be out there on Sunday at 8 a.m. Thanks for stopping by, Pastor Bart. Love you, man. Got to get out of here. Make room for the Ralph Bailey Show. It's a Friday. Rick Bentley stops by and talks entertainment. This has been the JR Show. Lily, Dad loves you.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN, 96.1 FM, K241CI Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
All right, you guys be good to each other, all right? Be nice. Have a good weekend. Don't do anything I would, but come to church with me, for real.